What's up, all you learners out there in Learning Land? Tyler from 10thumbspro.com coming at you with another blues lesson. And today I'm teaching you some of my favorite ways to jam a blues. And these aren't going to be note for note solos, but rather licks and ideas that you can add to your blues playing to improve your phrasing and make your solos sound more intentional, melodic, and cohesive. Printable tabs for this lesson up here by becoming a Patreon. Just click that corner. But if you came just because you're ready to jam some blues in D, that's cool. I dig it and I respect it. Why don't you go ahead and grab your guitar? Brain and attention span. Once you have those three things, follow me on in and let's break this lesson down together. Come on in, let's do it. All right, so today we're going to be talking about how to jam a blues in D. I'm not going to walk you through specific licks. I'm just going to touch on some places where I think that you should know if you're jamming in D. So the idea is to use these hot spots or good locations and then build them up with licks you borrow from your favorite artist and improvising. We're going to start here on the neck and then work our way up. So if you make a D minor, you're going to see, well, first of all, we're in D blues, and that's going to be 7 chords. But we're playing the minor scale over it, which is a really bluesy sound with a flat fifth. And within this shape here, our D minor chord, 2nd fret of the G string, 1st and 3rd of the B, and 1st and 3rd of the E string. On the 3rd fret of the B, we have a D note. Knowing where that's at, you can get a lot of resolution. Why is it important to know the D note in your scale? Well, that's what resolution is. The notes you play, the orders you play them in, that's less important than the very last note. The last note's the most important note of all because that's like the period of your sentence. That's the way you finish a story, the climax of the story. So you should know where your D nards are. You should know where your D notes are in the shape that you're working in. All right. So, bam, you got that little hot spot right there. That's D. The next spot that you should be familiar with is up here. All right, and this comes from this D minor shape. You would start it on the E string and you go 5, 8. But this 5 on the A string is the root. So 5, 8, but that's another D note. 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, another D note, another root. 6, 8, 5, 8. I love this shape. I would say I play 75% of a blues in D in this shape. And I'll show you some things I do with it. I love 6, 5 on the B string and the E string, and giving them little bends. And then knowing I have a D note right here, I can always resolve. I can do this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I can do it triplets. 1 pola, 2 pola, 3 pola, 4. Slide in from a half step. You get like a Chuck Berry sound when you do that, right? Also within this shape, what we can do is because there's a little extension, 8, shape 5 looks like 8, 10, 8, 10, 7, 10, 7, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10. So that's shape 5 of the D minor pentatonic. What I'm doing is I'm bending from the 8th up to the 10 and bending right through that shape, which is really nice. And then coming back down and aiming for that D note that we already talked about in shape 4. You might be out there in Learning Land wondering, why am I starting on shapes 4 and 2 and why am I not doing 1? Well, shape 1 for the D minor is way up here. Which on an electric guitar is great. You have all this space. It sounds great. And we're going to get to that. But by starting here in shape 4, messing and touching on shape 5, when I get to shape 1, the climax, the energy, it's all building up to that. So it's not a rule, but generally I like to start lower in terms of notes and work my way up to the higher notes. You don't have to do that, but that's a good way to build intensity. And your solo should tell a story, a start, a middle, and an end. Start slow, add some interest in the middle, bring the heat at the end, and then back off a little bit. I find that that formula works really, really well. In shape 4, you can touch on the little extension from shape 3 that's also 3-5, 3-5. And with this root, that sounds great too. All right, another great place. Maybe I would start a solo there. Maybe I'd start with those double stops we talked about and then work my way down to that root. That's another approach. All right. 8 and 10, which we touched about, also make great double stops. You can play those any way you want. Triple, bow, bow. And they go right into shape 1 from there, which would be 10, 13, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 13, 10, 13. With a nice root 12th fret here on the D string. Which is a great place to finish a solo, right? Shape 1. So when you're working your way up the neck and you get to shape 1, now shape 1, if you saw the video we did on jamming an A, if you haven't, I would recommend it up in the notes. We're really working that root right there, right? And now let's say hypothetically our turnaround's coming up. Our root's here, 12th fret of the D string, 12th fret of the G. Right here we have our 4. And the 12th fret and the 14th fret of the G, we have the root of our 5. A7, A note. G7, G note. D7, D note. So when the turnaround comes around and the A comes up, you can slide up to that A. Boom, 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 boom. Do, boom, boom. Play the 13th, the flat 5th, to the G. Back to the D note, 12th fret of the D string. And when it goes back to finish on that A, slide up, slide 12 to 14, and then 12, 13, 14. So that's how you're going to navigate that with the turnaround, okay? Pushing those double stops, well, all our ideas we did down here, we can also do up here as well, right? 14, 13, 15, 13, 15, with a root on the 15th fret of the B string. A very Stevie Ray lick that works in this particular box is pulling 15 to 13 on the B. Grab that A note right there, 14th fret of the G string, jump up to the 13th of the E, and then back to the D. And if you give this note up here, this little F note, just a bend, you get some good stuff. That F note is the third interval. The D9, D7, those chords have an F sharp, but the D blues scale and the D minor have an F note. So by bending that F note a quarter tone, you're implying this F sharp. You could also hammer into that over that one chord if you want. That's mixing major and minor, which is a little further down the road. This is aimed at beginners who have an idea of these scale shapes, but they want to kind of know some hot spots, not necessarily licks verbatim, but some ideas they can use to improvise. And mixing the major and the minor is a little more advanced. So for right now, that lick works great. Check it out with the in the full lick. Very nice. Check it out if you want to take it a step further. You can also do that, all right? Okay, what else? Lastly, the shape up there that we did down here repeats itself way up there if you want to get crazy as well. 17, 18, you can do some double stops. All right, and those are just some tips to get you improvising some hop spots within the key of D. To supplement this, you should be practicing the A minor pentatonic scale E minor in all 5 shapes and learning how to transpose it. All right, until next time, keep on loving life, keep on rocking and rolling, and enjoy your next Blue Jam, friends. Take care. All right, everybody, really happy to bring that lesson to you. Happy you stayed to the very end. Again, think about becoming a Patreon. Those printable tabs and backing tracks will accelerate your learning. You can go ahead and get a hold of me for private lessons, 10thumbsproductions@gmail.com as well. And until next time, keep on rocking, keep on rolling, keep loving life, keep on jamming the guitar. Think about becoming a Patreon and turn the volume up. Take care of yourselves.